Well, hello, Breakfast Club. It was a busy couple of weeks for me, so thank you to everyone for filling in, but I'm back. I wanted to pick up on JJ's points from yesterday, talking about was it lies, damn lies, and statistics. It's it's an interesting one, and I think it comes part of the problem is people don't understand what statistics do. People never really learn statistics, and they're so commonly abused in society that they become meaningless. So, uh, as an example, well, the first part, I don't think people are ever really given sort of as part of their basic education and understanding of what statistics are, what they can and can't do. When you never really, people don't explain what p-values are, stuff like that. You don't even need to have to be get that particularly sophisticated. You're quite often you hear people saying, "Oh, what the average of something is used a lot." The average, the mean average, doesn't really tell you much without an indication of spread as well, standard deviation or something, or what the median is, so that you can or mode, and so just you need more information. Otherwise, all it's telling you is the mean average. It's a point. It may tell you something, but that's very easily skewed if you have one. I don't know, the average wealth could go up if a few people got very much more wealthy, even as everybody else actually got poorer, or a greater number of people got poorer. So, there's a problem there. If you have some measure of spread, that might be more useful, or, and skew and so on. But also, just so commonly, they're abused, used, have to be careful what I say, for deception. You see this in a lot of the adverts for various beauty products. Not just beauty products, but it's the one that comes to mind. And it's usually, I'm afraid, 76% of women agreed. And then it will be a tiny, 76% of 40 women agreed with an incredibly bland statement. This shampoo made my hair feel silky. Of course, the sample size is ridiculously small. There's no control group. It's it's largely meaningless, but they can say that they've done something, and people, and you say it's statistical, and that gives it this air of authority. Now, I think the problem extends beyond just, if you like, normal life. In political science, in my field, there does tend to people do like to put numbers on things because it gives this air of being scientific. Partly because it's numbers and people freak out when they see maths. And then we end up with the problem that, or part of the problem that JJ was talking about. People don't trust statistics in public life. Now, sometimes the statistics are actually very accurate and very useful, but quite often they are taken out of context or misrepresented or whatever it happens to be, and people lose trust in it. Now, I'm not entirely sure how to fix that. I mean, part of it is changing political culture and commercial culture, but I do wonder if giving people more education on how stats work, what they're for, and so on, descriptive stats, inferential stats, that sort of thing, whether that would help. And just a final point, which was on the point that JJ was getting to, basically about counterfactuals. How do you measure the the deterrent effect, for instance, of gun ownership? Well, it's difficult, but it's not impossible. If you can find sufficiently similar places where you can control for what variables there are and effectively apply a treatment to them. So one area has more restrictive gun controls, one has less restrictive gun controls. You can get some useful information out of it. Now, things are never monocausal, things are never straightforward, um, but you can still get something useful out of that, and you can you know deal with those issues. That you're talking about, effectively the counterfactual. The problem is you end up with quite not that complicated, but or not that difficult, but a sort of fairly messy set of stats that you then have to sit down and explain to someone. You can't say 87.2% of um, people in black and white stripes carrying a bag that said swag on it were put off because they knew that the householder had a gun. I don't know. It's a little frustrating. I agree, and I think part of it is a problem, as so many things are, a problem with education. Anyway, it's nice to be back. Things have been rather interesting politically in the UK since I've been away, what with Brexit and Corbyn and Cameron and all the rest of it. Anyway, David Landon Cole, I'll see you next time.